every game of Rocket League is full of mistakes. But if you want to rank up, the most important thing is that whenever you make a mistake, you are able to learn from it. And this is true whether you are at the very bottom of the rank ladder or at the very top. So today, to help us better learn from our own mistakes, we'll be taking a look at the gameplay of a Grand Champion to see what kind of mistakes they make, so you can then apply that knowledge in your own games. So let's just see what we see. Okay, right out of the gate, I'm gonna tell you something that's really minimal, like really small, but will increase your speed ever so slightly. You see this boost pad?
Yeah.
You don't need it. Just turn as tight as you can and go get the corner directly. This is not going to actually help you.
I mean, I don't think I actually grab it on purpose. I think it's just the fact that I'm KBM. I can't turn faster than what I do.
No, you definitely can, because look at how you straighten out here as you turn. You definitely aim for it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you definitely aim for that boost pad as you turn. So, very small thing, very minuscule, but you never do want to be slowing yourself down in any way. Stay in front. Okay.
I just didn't get my flip. I wanted a different flip.
So again, this is all about recognizing situation. So you have 0 boost. You got nothing. Your opponents are already back. So there is nothing that you just hitting this ball forward is going to accomplish, except giving it away to your opponent. And, you know, typically, hitting the ball away, floating down to the ground with 0 boost, and then having to get back in the play typically doesn't go too well. Takes a while. So what I would do in this situation is, we see we're not being challenged, this guy's on the ground, this guy's over here. There is nothing that says that we need to hit this ball. We can just sit here and chill. It can just sit here, and then when someone wants to turn and challenge, now we can go ahead and just force the 50-50 out. Which is much better than just giving away possession of the ball for free. Like, if their opponents want it, they probably can get it from us, but they're gonna have to work for it. We're not just gonna hand it to them. And that's a really big thing when it comes to just recognizing situation. If you're on low boost, one of the worst things you can do is just hit the ball away. Because you're not gonna get back to it, you're not gonna do anything, your opponents are very quickly going to realize you don't have boost, and they're just gonna take the ball for free. So, make them work for it. Don't ever give up the ball for free if you don't have to. Luckily, Stoic covers for you, but that is not the situation you want to find yourself in. But here is the counterattack. So, this is pretty much exactly what happens. This is just 1 touch later. So, you miss, and now Stoic's going to come in and get the touch, but because Wall was just kind of sitting on this, now Stoic doesn't have any kind of control on the ball. He just has to rush it, and now that just leads to your opponents getting possession of the ball at this point. And now you're back by yourself in a pretty bad spot, and yep. So that literally all boils down to the fact that you just didn't take time with that ball. And just put yourself already in a bad situation, and then your team had to try to cover for you. The only thing maybe that you could do better here is take another slightly wider angle. Obviously, in this case, this looks real questionable. So we don't have time to, like, swing all the way out here. But if you give yourself just a little bit more of an angle, it will make this jump a bit easier. It's hard in these instances because you don't know exactly how much time you have. But you're hoping with 2 players on the back line that they're at least going to get a decent challenge. They don't in this instance. But now you got yourself trapped under the ball, which is never where you want to be. So, yeah, you would hope that your teammates would buy you a little bit more time in that situation to be able to rotate a bit more efficiently. You guys scored on here? What a save. This is just lack of awareness of not knowing where your other opponent is. You see him, and you see where he's pointing. He is driving back towards this boost, and you turn ball cam back on, and then it's like you completely forget that he's there. you have no knowledge that he was back there facing that boost. And I'm like, if I saw that, I'm immediately worried that I'm about to get demoed. So, I don't know how high you have your game sound, but this is where listening is really important. Because we saw that he was picking up that boost, he's going to have to use it to get it to Supersonic to bump us. So I would be listening to hear if I hear a card coming towards me, and if I do, I am jumping out of the way. Because especially in this situation, this is a really bad spot to get demoed in, because one teammate stuck in the corner, second teammate at the midfield. If you get demoed, it is highly likely that this is a goal. You got lucky in the situation that it's not, because your teammate makes a fantastic save. But normally in this instance, that would be a goal. So yeah, boost pathing. Big good thing to do. Oh, whoa. Okay, so, again. Recognize situation. Do we have pressure? No, not really. The only thing
I think I thought it would. Sorry to interrupt you, but I swear, in that moment, I thought that was a shot on target.
That's fair.
It was in there.
That makes the panic make much more sense as to why your aerial looked like you were, like, scared for your life. This is another one where you just don't need to overcomplicate it. Like, maybe this guy has a double tap. Like, that's the one thing that might happen. Because we know this guy's not making a play, we know this guy's not making a play. So this is the only guy we're worried about. But we can shut all this down if instead of, like, driving in front of the net and jumping up, we just go to the backboard. Because if you're on the backboard, then even if he goes for the double, you're good. And I think you have a tendency to, like, kind of think that you're not gonna get to the backboard fast enough. Which is fair, because oftentimes, like, I know for a fact I've tried to go up the backboard, and I've been too slow and I've missed. But you definitely, if you also stayed further back when you came over to this corner and stayed more along the back wall, you would have given yourself a much easier time to just go up and get the save, as opposed to awkwardly jumping from over here. Because if we look at your overall pathing through this, so you cut all the way across, but then as you pick up this boost, you turn forward. And then now you realize, okay, wait, this isn't gonna work out. And that's what puts you in the awkward situation. And what you have to realize is you just kind of have to pay attention to all the challenges that are happening. So, okay, we see that Wall's beating our teammate, that's fine. And now again, you take off ball cam. And if I'm looking at this, I don't know who's winning this ball. I got no clue. But if I push forward and my teammate gets beat, now I'm in a really awkward spot. So ideally, as you're going for this, just take your time, and I would be very careful as to which way you turn, because turning upfield here is not going to give you that much of an advantage, as opposed to if you just turn back towards the net. You're not going to gain much of an advantage by turning forward, but you are going to put yourself in a much worse spot on defense by not turning back. And that's exactly what we're going to see, because now you get yourself in an awkward spot where it is really hard to get to the backboard in time, and you think the ball is on target, which in fairness is fair, because it is very close. Actually, it's about as close as you could probably get without being on target, both on the post and the crossbar. So, yeah. Luckily, wow, that is a terrible shot. How did they mess this up that badly? Literally, they have the whole net. They just need to hit the ball straight.
That looks like us.
How did they manage that? That's impressive.
That looks like us.
Oh, that's painful. Good gosh, I launched on this whole long thing because I was positive you got scored on here. I was so confident that they scored that I'm like, yeah, this is why you got scored on. And then they shoot the ball like this? What? No! Baloney. Absolute baloney. I refuse to believe that. There's just no way, man. There's no way. And then, again, be careful about all the boosts we're using. We're in the midfield with 83 boosts. We can tell immediately when this ball is hit that we are not catching this. There is just no chance. Not happening. So what I would do in this instance, we see the ball, and this is like one of the biggest things that I talk about all the time. We see the ball, we know exactly what this thing's gonna do. It's gonna do this. It's gonna do this arc. That's great. I have no idea where my opponents are or what they're planning on doing. I am taking ball cam off, and I am staring these guys down. Because they will probably tell me where the ball is going if I'm not tracking it perfectly, because they'll jump to challenge it. And then we can get in their face and do stuff. But if we're just staring at this ball going in an arc, we're not really doing much of anything except allowing our opponents to get in position to deal with it, because we're going to take ourselves out of the play to go try to jump for it, which is going to kill all of our resources. So yes, we're on 0 seconds, it's probably not going to matter, but realistically, like, we don't want to be putting ourselves in that spot. Because if we don't jump here, and we take ball cam off, if we look at where our opponent is, it's going to be tough, because this ball is moving really quickly. But if we just go and flip towards this corner where the ball is going, we see that our opponent's in an awkward spot. We might be able to track under it enough that by the time it gets down here, maybe we can jump up to make a touch on it. But because we jumped all the way over here, like, it's just not going to happen. We would have recognized that our opponent was in an awkward spot, and we could have stayed on their tail and made them feel more pressure, and maybe we could have gotten a touch. Probably not, but it at least would have made them have to think a little bit more, because they would have heard our car just right next to them the entire time down the field. And maybe we could create an opportunity from that at 0 seconds. So, again, find yourself under the ball, and you're not going to be able to make a touch. Turning ball cam off and looking at what else is going on the field is often a good strategy. Good touch. Again, this is one where you don't need to stare at it with ball cam. Realistically, in this instance, if you want to be cheeky, you're first man on this ball, right? Right, you're first. So, what can we do? Well, getting the ball, pretty unlikely. But, we know where the ball is going. This is the last guy back on their team. We got a player that's just picked up mid-boost, and the other two of their players back in the corner. So why not, at this instance, since we're first man here, just go for a bump. Just try for it. Like,
just become calm, easy.
Yeah, what's the worst? Honestly, though, what's the worst that can happen? Like, worst thing, you jump, he flies past you, you like land on the backboard, you recover down and pick up boost. You're first man, so you have the free range to do something like this as first man. If you were second man, I would tell you absolutely not. You can't commit for that. Third man, incredibly not. Incredibly dumb. But as first, you know you're not getting the ball. You might as well try something to impact them. Because if you could bump him, that's just gonna bounce.
If I could have bumped him, that could have been in too.
It either could have been in, or you would have bumped him, it would have bounced off the backboard, and Risky's right here. And it would have just been a free goal. Basically, what I think is big for you is just not tunnel visioning on the ball and looking for whatever opportunities present themselves. Because in a lot of instances in this game, your camera has just been staring straight up at the ball, in the air. And you have had no idea about what you might have been able to do around the field to make opponents' lives harder. So, really look for those opportunities where it doesn't make sense to stare at the ball and you can actually take ball cam off to look for other opportunities. As I say, we're not winning any awards for consistency. One thing I will say here, you think this is in, I'm not taking any chances. Again, we can't make a play on this ball. It's bouncing on the back, we've only got 18, we're not doing anything. Where's the opportunity for us on the field right now? It's not this way, because that's where our teammates are coming in, so we don't want to head back towards where our teammates are. The opportunity is here. Because these guys are looking at the ball. So if you just go this way, and look for bump, again, this ball might just drop down in front, and your teammate might have a free shot, but instead you kind of just leave, presumably because you thought it was in, so you thought you were good. But if you just went through the net, like, look at how awkward this guy is. You could have demoed this guy, and you would have been able to carry straight on through, and demoed this guy, or at least bumped him, and this ball is just floating here. Completely free.
Yeah.
But instead you rotate back and now you're just running into your teammate. Luckily we get kind of bailed out because it doesn't quite work out for them. But another dangerous situation that we put ourselves in. And now here...
I accidentally side flipped the wrong way.
This is again just being too rushy. Like you're just going way too fast. So you get this touch. This is good. Again, recognize the space. There's no one here. There is no one chasing you. They are so far away. You have literally all the time in the world. You are in a 1v1. At 3 minutes into overtime, you have a 1v1 to possibly win the game. And instead of just playing it calm and taking control of this ball, even if you get a touch here, all this does is roll the ball away from you further and let Popo go, cool, thanks, free ball, mine. Just stay behind it. Just take control. You can just drive into this, pop this up, and now Popo's in a world of trouble. They're in a horrible angle, and you are, like, air dribbling at them, and they are terrified. 3 minutes into overtime, you're last man back in a 1v1 on defense. You are horrified of the situation you have found yourself in. But you just give up the play. You just give them the ball. It's like, yeah, here you go. I don't want it, actually. You can have it. So, yeah, just recognize the situation. You don't have to panic. It's fine. Oh boy. This is again just rotating too tightly in the net. Again, no reason to be back. There's no threat. We can see there is no shot in the world that's beating both you and Stoic in this instance. You just rotate way too tightly, and then you stop paying attention to where you're going, and just drive up the post. Luckily, your teammate bails you out again. And you're gonna get the win. Okay. Overall, I think this all comes down to boost pathing, managing the angles of your rotation, and being more aware of what opportunities exist around the field that don't necessarily involve the ball. The moral of the story is if you ever find yourself in a position where you're looking at the ball and there is just nothing that you are going to be able to do in the position you're in. You're either directly under the ball, or you're ahead of it, or the ball is moving too quickly. You just can't do anything on the ball in that instance. There is no reason to continue to stare at it and just see what it's doing, because it's probably not going to do anything interesting. So at those moments when you realize that, it is so beneficial and so helpful to your team if you can take that ball cam off and identify what else is going on the field. Because if you're just tunnel visioned on the ball, you are missing so many opportunities for demos, boost steals, just generally making your opponent's life miserable is really what you want to do. The more difficult you can make life for your opponent, the easier time you will have in general. Because if you can restrict what they're able to do on the field, you give yourself and your team many more opportunities. But that's all reliant on you being aware of what opportunities actually exist. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you'd like a replay of your own analyzed, feel free to join my Discord link down in the description and check out the request coaching channel in there. I'd love to be able to help you guys out. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.